It's about time somebody talked about it. Why are we all struggling with no money and no jobs and no resources while athletes like Floyd Mayweather are scamming $400 million dollars, or they're making millions of dollars? Athletes like Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is making millions and millions. He's made hundreds of millions of dollars. Joel Embiid has made hundreds of millions of dollars. Why are we allowing this? Why are we allowing this as a society? Why are we not saying, hey, I think that normal people need to stand up and start making more money? Why is it that 17, 18-year-olds in college football and NIL are making more than doctors and lawyers and people saving people's lives, firefighters, first responders? Why is it that everyone else here is struggling when you see your favorite basketball player or football player buying 50 chains, buying 50 houses, having 100 wives, having 100 kids, and you can't afford to have one kid? Is this fair? Is this really what we want? I love sports. I'm passionate about sports. It's always been my passion, but it's gotten out of control. Watching the playoffs in the NBA, watching basketball is the worst at it. You see these guys making millions of dollars, and for the 82 games that they have to play, it's not even a year-round schedule. They don't even want to play. They want to take the night off and still get paid. They still get paid millions. At most people's job, do you get paid when you take the night off? Do you get paid? No. Or you have to take sick leave, or you have, your 1 week of paid time off you get for your one little vacation. And I'm getting to see LeBron James go to Met Galas and see LeBron James go to Cancun and Cabo for months and months and do everything he wants. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's time somebody need to talk about it. Somebody needs to go and, I don't know if people need to stop going to games, or people have already declined watching sports. Everyone learned in COVID, when stuff got tough, when shit hit the fan, you saw that the sports viewership was down because people had to worry about surviving. People had to worry about eating. People didn't have jobs. But then these guys were still getting paid millions even during COVID when they weren't playing. And how is this fair? And how is this just? And what can normal people do about it? I say if normal people decided to not, watch sports anymore, to not give into this whole thing, that would help it some. But what really needs to be done is people need to start having the conversation in the media of, why are we paying these athletes so much? Because Charles Barkley and these older guys from the 80s, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, they talk about riding buses to games. They talk about riding charter flights next to normal people. When did it become all this where they're making millions and millions and millions of dollars to where they don't even want to play anymore? Like, you're making so much money, you don't even want to play the sport you love. And y'all have the best job. Y'all get to play a sport. My grandma can shoot a basketball. I don't know not one person that can't dribble or shoot a basketball. Not saying they're as good as the NBA guys, but come on. It's just ridiculous. And then in baseball, you see these same huge contracts, $500 million, $700 million, all this money. With those guys, half of them, the pitchers, they play one game a week. Okay, if you play in the outfield in baseball, you stand half the game. You stand around. If you're a bench player in baseball, you still make millions, and you play maybe once or twice a week, and you make millions of dollars. When us regular people, we got to go out here and struggle and fight and claw to make 15 an hour, 20 an hour, 25 an hour. Something needs to be done about it. I don't know the answer, but something needs to be done. And especially with the NBA, you could see that people are already turned off. People are already tuned out. Because with the NFL, the reason why the NFL is my favorite sport is because the contracts are not guaranteed, and guys are actually risking their body. They're risking their life playing football. It's a very physical sport, very demanding sport. So they deserve to make the money because they're like the modern day gladiators. They're putting themselves on the line. Nobody in basketball is putting themselves on the line. Nobody is really getting hurt like that. And as for college football, that used to be my favorite sport. Now it's number 2 under NFL because they're paying these guys and all they do is transfer every year, and they complain and they pout. And half of them, aren't even that good. They don't even turn out to be that good. They come out of high school, they suck. Look at a Jalen Rashada. He's transferred all those schools. He's made all that money. He's not even good. He's not even good. I'm a Florida State fan. We were in the top 10 of spending of NIL in football. We won 2 games. We won 2 games. And as a person that lives in the city, that lives in Tallahassee, that lives, our whole economy counts on the football team. Did any of those NIL guys give any money back to the community? Since the hotels and the restaurants and the workers all made less money because the football team was terrible? No, they didn't give back $1. No, they didn't. They spent it all. They got to go party. They got to go buy, a bunch of cars. They got to go buy a bunch of chains while us normal people are struggling. And then next year, we play Alabama first game. Who's going to be there? A bunch of fans. While they can barely afford to eat, they're probably putting this on a credit card that they're not going to pay off. While these guys are making millions, and we're probably going to get blown out, and they're going to be terrible. And it's just like, what is this? We've gone backwards as a society, and it's starting with sports. Something has to be done. They shouldn't be making this much. When the guys back in the 80s made, good money, made more money than normal people, but they weren't making crazy millions. They were a lot hungrier, and the product was a lot better. Even in the 90s, the salaries weren't that crazy. How are guys now, average guys like a Ben Simmons? Ben Simmons has already made more than Michael Jordan made in his whole career, more than Scottie Pippen, more than Magic Johnson, more than Larry Bird, more than Shaq. It's like, what? More than Charles Barkley. That makes no sense. They always tell us, oh, well, if you work hard and you do what you got to do, it'll pay off. Well, it's not paying off for normal people. Oh, if you just happen to be born 6'7" or 6'10" and you can shoot a ball, then it pays off for you and you don't even have to work. You can say, oh, I'm hurt, I'm tired, I don't want to play today, and you still get millions of dollars. It's ridiculous. Something needs to be done. Something has to be done about it. And the worst is, honestly, is about to be the college NIL. Every year, 40 guys transfer from my team, or 40 guys transfer into my team, or they're leaving for the smallest reasons, or because they got a little bit of a pay grade and all that. And you have college football players making more money in NIL than the president at the school. You got them making more money than the coach. How are they going to be coachable? How are you going to check them? How are you going to do any of that? You're not. That's why you see, like, there's only going to be a few good teams, and all the care of like, oh, I went to this university, I care about it. All that's gone. It's disappeared. We don't see it no more. We don't hear about it anymore. And it's ridiculous. But I'm just hoping, as a person who's struggling in this economy, who it's hard to find jobs, who I work for, 15, 20, 25 bucks, at most an hour. I'm not trying to, deal with that crap. I'm trying to make a living. And maybe if we somehow flip the economy to where we started trickling down some of this sports money that we're giving to these basketball players and these baseball players. I won't say the football players at the pro level because they earn it. But the college guys who get the guaranteed money and then they don't even go to the school, or they never play and they were never good, that's ridiculous. They need to give that money back. So, it's just ridiculous. We got to figure out a way to trickle down some of this money. If the athletes' salaries have inflated so much and inflation has gone up so much, why hasn't the salaries of normal people? Why can't we make any money? Why is there, besides these little YouTube channels talking about, sports, you can make a little money off that. I haven't been monetized. You see, I don't have that many followers. I just, enjoy it. But imagine if I was making 1/10, not even 1/10, 1% of Ben Simmons' salary. I would be making more than most people off just making 1% of his salary. So we got to find a way to have an open conversation about these sports salaries. And we got to find a way to transfer that to normal people, for normal people to get some money, to normal people to get, where are all the sports jobs? I graduated with a sports degree. And when you get out, they offer you ticket sale jobs for $12 an hour. They'll offer you, oh, come be whatever and climb the ladder. There ain't no ladder. They always hire the ex-sports player. They always hire the cousin of the owner. Like, it's always been super nepotism in sports. Guys that are not qualified, that were an athlete, they're going to get the job over you. And that's okay because they played. So at least they have some experience. But you just worked 10 years at the field and you did all that. And they hire a guy straight out of the pros and he gets the job over you. Like, it's beyond frustrating. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think we need to change this, the way sports contracts are, and what could we change to be able to make, more money for normal people? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe. All right, I'm out.